Hey there, I'm building a seven-figure a year real estate business and I'm doing it entirely in public. And this is the daily update channel on my progress so that you can follow along and by extension, ultimately learn how to do something like this for yourself. So we start off by doing each one of these with some Q&A on our YouTube channel and on our Skool community. And then we'll do an update on some of the building activities and some of the strategies that I'm working on right now, give you an update on what's happening, and then we'll update some stats across social media and offers and just give you some details of how the business works. All right, first off, let's go over to Skool and let's find some questions. All right, there. So Charles has a question, says that I am working on a portfolio, and here are the facts. The asking price is $5.7 million. They're saying it's 6 units, which seems like not right at all. The average rent is $5,000. Wow. And the gross income is $500,000. So I'm just going to do some quick math here and take $500,000 and divide that by 6 units and divide that by 12. So I'm getting almost $7,000 per month in rent. I'm having a hard time to adjust the LTV to loan payoff. My seller financing challenge is attached. Okay. Okay, so what's happening here is I've pulled up his analyzer and he's plugged in the 6 units and his average monthly rent his income per month. And we have imposed a 45% expense ratio, which is something we often do for multifamily. And he put in their asking price of 5.3 along with some basic repair costs and he can't get the payment high enough so that he's paying off. So basically his payment isn't enough to even cover the interest that's being accrued. So basically the seller is asking way too much, and they're asking so much that even really conservative and favorable owner financing terms for the buyer still doesn't make this where there's enough cash flow to make it make sense. And so he's having trouble getting his loan to value ratio down low enough because he's not paying off any principal per month. And so what I would tell him is like something is up. They want 5.3 for a 6-unit property, and I know it. I mean, they're trying to sell us at a cap rate of 3%, 3 or 4%. We find that it's really hard to make this work unless the cap rate they're trying to go for is at least 7%. And so he's almost half of that. So like this is not a deal that's going to work unless there's something going on that I'm not aware of. There's actually more than 6 units. I just can't imagine where this must be. This must be like in Miami or San Francisco or something. And I would tell them this is probably a deal not even worth spending time on. Okay, and here's not really a question, but here's a good example of how to raise capital partners or to find someone to either buy you out of your deal or to find capital. So here's a post that Joe put in. He says, hey, we have a 70-unit deal in Texas, and here's the cap rate. Here's the cash on cash return. Perfect for long-term hold or JV. This is a high-performing growth asset. So what he's doing here is he's giving you a reason to care. Notice that Joe here is not saying, hey, I need a buyer or I need something. He's saying everything is written in such a way that is to the benefit of the listener or the viewer or someone, whoever's reading this. Whoever's a capital partner sees this and says, oh, I get a cap rate of 11%. That's amazing. That results in a cash on cash return of 16%. It's in good shape. Okay, like drop him a DM or like this is somebody who says, I want some more information. And so one person has already reached out and said, hey, tell me more. And this is how you basically present a deal on a public forum. Notice there's no address. There's not even a city. There just kind of gives you a region, and it gives you the result The only insight I would say on this is I would change this from some COC to ROI. A lot of people don't know what COC is. I would change this to ROI. Most people know what ROI means. But otherwise, I really like this post. And by the way, this is our deal. So Joe works with me, and this is Joe posting our deal in our group because we're trying to raise capital for this deal, and the capital partner might raise their hand by doing this. And so this is, again, an example of us showing how we actually do the business in real life and how we're always making little adjustments. So the feedback I'll give Joe is, let's change this to ROI instead of cash on cash. People inside of our community will know what that means because we use the term a lot. But if you're in the public, then that may not, they're not going to know what that is in a lot of cases. So that's the only insight that I would, and I already didn't notice that until I just kind of read it here myself. Like I probably would have written cash on cash return as well. So this is just a little insight that I would give you. So here's actually an interesting idea to point out to you is we obviously create YouTube videos and we create marketing. And one of the things that we do is we try to not anticipate ourselves what we think somebody likes, because you think you know, but you may not always know. And so since we have a community of over 3,000 people, I often poll the community on ideas to get feedback from actual clients. And so in this case, I'm working on a new YouTube video idea on our long form channel. And these are some different titles that I kind of threw out there. And if you go through these titles, which one of these titles gets your attention? When stacked on top of each other, which one would you vote for? And so we actually have results. And it's an overwhelming number 4. Give me 7 minutes and I'll show you the fastest path to 100 doors versus all these other choices that are out there. Like with a pretty significant margin, this one won out. And so when I go to make this video, instead of me trying to think and believe I know what you want, I ask the community. And so the likelihood is it'll be something really close to this because it's the one that got some resonance. And so that's how you start with an idea and you ask your community. And people like to vote. People like to, hey, do me a favor. And people love to give their opinion. And so when you ask somebody else their opinion, they'll give it to you. And so this is a signal that of these ideas, this one gets the most attention. Okay, let's switch over to updates here. So we've taken care of this. Now we're going to talk about some strategizing in public. So let's talk about an update on my website. So I have a really lame website for my real estate investment firm. And so I'm getting a refresh. And so work has begun on that. And I suspect that will be ready in I'm being told that'll be ready in about 1 week. So I'm very excited about that. And then working on an RV park deal in Texas that is under contract. And one of the capital partners that I talked to yesterday gave us feedback on why that they're not interested in this one. So this particular RV park is in a kind of a workforce housing, long-term housing situation. And they prefer the short-term RV parks that are more for vacationers. And so this doesn't really fit their profile, but it was very helpful because they shared with me their opinion. And they gave me some specific feedback so that in the future, when I come across a deal that fits more of their criteria, then we can talk about them being a capital partner in one of these other deals. And so that's totally fine. Like there's no hard feelings about this. And that's when I talk to capital investors, I ask them, just give me some straight feedback. Like they're not gonna hurt my feelings. If you like it, great. If you don't, no problem. Just tell me why. That way I can adjust what your buy box is so I have a better idea and I don't waste your time on deals that don't make sense for you. And so we're still working on this 8 unit in the New Orleans, Louisiana area, and we have the LOI signed, and we have another party who is interested. And so this is the one that requires $250K plus closing costs to close. And the person that I talked to previously only had access to about $200K. And so they're a little shy on their down payment, which is no problem. We'll just work on another deal with them. And so this other party says that they buy properties up to 200 units. And they're capitalized, so they can easily qualify for this 8-unit. So I'm still on the hunt for a capital partner for this deal, this 8-unit in Louisiana. So yesterday I talked about this LOI that we had signed for an RV park. It was also in Texas. So this one's also in Texas. It's a different park. And the seller is pretty savvy, and they push back really hard on our proof of funds. And I mean, like, harder than I probably have ever seen a seller push back. I mean, they were very detailed, and we basically said, "Hey, like, this is what is going on. We are raising capital, and we've told you that from the beginning. So we don't have proof of funds of liquid capital in our bank account that we can show you right now. And if you want to wait, we'll just wait, and we'll go try and find capital partners to put it together. But just know it's hard for us to raise capital on a deal for which we don't have a contract for, because we can't say the property's under contract." And so we gave them the choice. I said, "You can just wait for the proof of funds, or we can go ahead and go under contract, because you know exactly what we're doing. And we will put down our earnest money, and then we have our due diligence period. And at the end of 30 days, if we haven't done our thing, you'll know, and you'll be the first to know." Right. And so they elected to go ahead and go under contract. And so sometimes you just give people the choice. You just tell them the facts. You say, like, you can either wait or you can go under contract. But like, trying to us to like create some paperwork that makes you happy that's not real is not a good strategy. Okay. And so a little bit of update. I'm selling several of my single family properties that are in Arkansas. And so I have a single family property that's scheduled to sell this Friday. So a couple days from now, I will close. The only thing I'm waiting to do now on that one is to review the title report. And the single family property that I've just rehabbed is supposed to be finished today. They're delivering the range. And once that's in place, then the pictures are scheduled for later this week, and then it will go on the market in just a few days. And so that's me selling my single family. And the reason I'm doing that is because I'm busy. I got a lot of deals flying around, and dealing with a single family property just isn't kind of worth the squeeze for me anymore. Even this 8-unit is a little bit on the small side for me. Like, even this one, it's like, if I just didn't have such an amazing owner financing deal, I'm not sure I would fuss with it. And then let's talk about this last one here. So we had a client just join our mentorship program, and she gave us the nicest review. And this was just entirely on her own. We didn't prompt her for this. And she reached out to us after joining, and what I do when someone joins our mentorship program, I send them a personal video saying, "Welcome to the Dream Partner Mentorship Program. And I take this very seriously, how I'm going to help you, and looking forward to meeting you on the calls. And I can't wait for us to kick off your strategy." And so she reached back out and said, "I hope this message finds you well. I want you to extend a heartfelt thank you for the warm and personal message that you sent us. We were thrilled to be among some of the best in the industry that we have long dreamed of entering, and we're eagerly ready to learn and apply all that is poured into us. Thank you once again for the incredible opportunity." And she said Thomas, which is our acquisition specialist, our growth specialist, did an amazing job breaking down each intricate step of the program along with all the benefits. And so the transparency helped made their decision very easy. And so this is one of those things they call like the net promoter score. She is riding a high right now because she got an amazing experience. And so what we endeavor to do as somebody who's helping people learn the business of real estate is to give people this kind of experience. And it's just really gratifying to hear this from people without being prompted, especially, and to hear that one of my employees is doing a good job. So a team member of mine basically crushed it and got a message. And as a CEO, I got a message about that. And so building community, building a really strong team is something that's really important to me. And it's really important to me, not just because I want it to be a good team, but because the results that people get. Like, this is the kind of experience that these clients are hoping for, right? And so this is something I work really hard to do. And if you're running any sort of business, this is the kind of thing that you want to capture. And then I'm going to take this very message and I'm going to go onto our staff meeting. I'm going to share, "Hey, attaboy, Thomas, this is the kind of thing that, that we're looking for. This is the excellence bar that we're looking for." Okay, now that is the updates done. And now let's go check on the stats. So I checked this a second ago, and it looks like we have 1,062 over here. 1,062. So that's got a little traction. And I think this other one. Oh, so hey, we're at 303. And we're at 303 right here. Moving on up. And I just got through checking Instagram, and I think Instagram is still the same. Instagram still the same. And let's check the Skool community, and we're at 3152. Oh, wow, that's a lot. It's like 9 people joined just yesterday. Excellent. All right, so that is the stats updated, and we'll see you again tomorrow.